di questa pittura di questo uomo che in quel momento allarga le braccia.
For over 500 years, Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper has captivated the world with its beauty. But beneath the surface lies something far more unsettling. Hidden shapes, strange figures, and cryptic details have fueled endless theories about secret codes buried within the masterpiece. Now, advanced AI has finally uncovered the messages that Da Vinci may have deliberately concealed, and they are nothing short of terrifying. The hidden messages in the painting reveal a dark side of history we were never meant to discover with human eyes. Leonardo and the masterpiece that changed history. In the late 15th century, Milan's Duke Ludovico Sforza commissioned a mural that would change art forever. He wanted Leonardo da Vinci to cover the wall of the Dominican convent of Santa Maria del Grazie with a depiction of Christ's final meal. Between 1495 and 1498, Leonardo worked on what became The Last Supper, one of the most studied and mysterious paintings in human history. But unlike other artists of his time, Leonardo did not follow the safe and traditional method of fresco painting on wet plaster. Instead, he experimented with oil and tempera on dry stone, allowing him more time to perfect expressions and details, but at a cost. The surface began to deteriorate far quicker than anyone expected, forcing endless restorations over the centuries. From the very beginning, the masterpiece seemed destined to both awe and trouble future generations. What Leonardo captured was no ordinary banquet. He chose the precise moment described in the Gospels when Jesus tells the apostles that one of them will betray him. In an instant, disbelief, fear, and anger ripple across the table. Some lean back in shock, others lunge forward in protest, a frozen storm of emotion, immortalized in color and shadow. At nearly 29 feet wide and 15 feet tall, the mural dominates the refectory, once looming over the monks as they ate in silence below it. Leonardo's composition was revolutionary for its time. Instead of static rows of saints, he grouped the apostles in clusters of 3, creating a rhythm of gestures and glances. Each man reacts differently, yet together they form a single dramatic arc that leads the viewer's eye back to the calm, resigned figure of Christ at the center. It was not just art, it was narrative, psychology, and suspense locked into a wall of stone. Over the years, however, the painting became more than a religious treasure. From the earliest days, whispers followed Leonardo's work. Viewers claimed he had hidden messages inside it, strange codes, symbols, and puzzles woven into the figures. Experts took closer looks at the gestures and even the background. Some dismissed the rumors as imagination, but others believed Leonardo, a man obsessed with science and secret knowledge, had buried truths in plain sight. The question lingered for centuries: if Da Vinci planted secrets in The Last Supper, what were they? Today, AI has decoded them, and the first clue is startling. Hidden in the painting is not just an image, but a sound waiting to be heard. Can you hear the betrayal? In 2007, an Italian researcher named Giovanni Maria Palla noticed something strange in The Last Supper. The placement of the apostles' hands and the scattered pieces of bread seemed too deliberate to be random. When he traced their alignment across the long table, the pattern resembled L notes written on a staff. At the time, most dismissed it as coincidence. But when AI revisited this theory and ran the sequence through a modern organ simulation, the result was disturbing. The melody only made sense when played backwards, as if the painting itself demanded reversal. This was a hidden key meant to be unlocked centuries later. The sound was not a cheerful hymn or a celebratory song, it was slow, heavy, and mournful, almost like a funeral dirge. Experts who heard it described it as a requiem, a chilling prelude to the betrayal and death that the painting depicts. Da Vinci's obsession with makes this revelation even more unsettling. He was not only a painter but also an inventor who designed instruments and studied harmonics with scientific precision. If anyone could weave a secret composition into brushstrokes, it was him. What AI uncovered was not just a melody, but a coded message. The structure of the painting supports this possibility. Numbers dominate its design. The apostles are arranged in groups of 3, echoing the Holy Trinity. Their clusters fall into 4s as well, likely a nod to the 4 evangelists. At the center, Jesus forms a perfect triangle while 3 windows rise behind him, symbolizing divine perfection. Even the background aligns with mathematical order. A careful breakdown reveals echoes of the Fibonacci sequence: 1 table, 2 walls, 3 windows, 5 groups of figures, and 8 wall panels. The harmony of math, faith, and geometry suggests Leonardo wasn't painting a simple meal. He was encoding a message about order, destiny, and betrayal. Every brushstroke seems to show inevitability, as though Christ's death was not just foretold in Scripture but encoded in numbers and sound itself. For centuries, viewers admired the beauty of the scene without realizing the painting itself was singing about death. Only when AI stripped away the centuries of silence did the resurface. The timing feels almost deliberate, as if Leonardo hid his requiem for future generations armed with technology sharp enough to unlock it. The question lingers, was this Da Vinci's personal reflection on the betrayal of Christ, or a broader warning meant for the world? The fact that the melody only plays backwards adds another layer of unease. To hear the truth, one must reverse the natural order, twisting harmony into dissonance. And yet, this is only one piece of the puzzle, because while sound and numbers whisper in the background, AI discovered even darker clues hidden in plain sight, resting right there on the table. At first glance, the food on the table in Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper seems unremarkable: bread, wine, and a few scattered dishes. But when advanced AI analyzed the painting's fine details, one element stood out: the fish placed in front of the Apostle Andrew. Historically, the presence of fish fits. Several of Jesus' disciples were fishermen, and the fish became a powerful early Christian symbol, especially during times of Roman persecution. The ichthys, a simple outline of a fish, was one of the earliest symbols of Christianity, used discreetly to identify believers in secret. In this context, the fish may represent spiritual resilience, hidden belief, and the humble origins of the Christian community. But AI's visual pattern recognition raised a deeper question: what kind of fish did Leonardo actually paint? Some art historians suggest it resembles eel, while others argue it's more like herring. This detail might seem minor, but in symbolic art, small choices matter. Eel has often been associated with slipperiness and deception in European folklore, possibly symbolizing moral ambiguity. Herring, on the other hand, carried a different meaning: it was common, humble, and tied to spiritual modesty. If Leonardo chose herring, it could emphasize the apostles' humble backgrounds and the idea that true spiritual richness comes from self-denial, not material wealth. If it's eel, the symbolism might lean more toward betrayal or hidden danger. Either way, the fish becomes a subtle clue embedded in the painting's symbolism. Even more curiously, some researchers using AI image analysis claim to have identified round orange-colored objects on the table that resemble citrus fruit. While there is no historical record of oranges being part of a Last Supper meal and citrus fruits were not present in 1st century Jerusalem, their possible appearance raises deep questions. Whether these are truly oranges or simply misinterpreted shapes, their presence would be out of place and symbolic. Some scholars argue Da Vinci may have been distancing the scene from Jewish tradition, placing Jesus and his apostles in a more universal setting. Others see the oranges as a coded reference to a 15th century Italian story, where a meal of eels and oranges symbolized overindulgence and hypocrisy. If true, Da Vinci may have been hinting that beneath the sacred ritual lay a critique of corruption, a jab at men of faith who claimed devotion but were weak to temptation. AI added another layer to this. The strange mix of fish and oranges was not random, but deliberate. Unlike bread and wine, which symbolize Christ's body and blood, these items seem designed to unsettle, to make viewers question what is truly happening at the table. Da Vinci may have been daring his audience to look closer, to realize that what appears holy might also carry hidden warnings. Bread and wine are the core of the Christian Eucharist, symbols of sacrifice and unity, painted clearly front and center. But Da Vinci surrounded them with strange food items that had no place there, a message that even in the holiest moment, corruption and denial sit just inches away. Among all the hidden symbols inside the Last Supper, one detail chills viewers most: the salt. Right before Judas Iscariot, AI detected a pile of salt spilled across the table. To modern eyes, it may look like nothing, but in ancient times, spilling salt was seen as a curse or omen of misfortune. In Christian tradition, Judas is the ultimate betrayer, and pairing him with scattered salt seems like Da Vinci declaring that Judas's treachery was not only certain but destined. Judas himself is shown unlike any other apostle. While the others are bathed in light, his face is cloaked in shadow, barely visible, almost erased from the sacred gathering. This represents what Da Vinci called the movement of the soul, a visual descent into darkness. Judas becomes a figure marked by fate, consumed by his choice before he has even acted. look closer, and the signs of betrayal stack higher. In one hand, Judas clutches a small purse, a blunt reference to the 30 pieces of silver he was paid for betraying Christ. His other hand reaches toward the bread on the table, echoing Jesus' prophecy, "The one who dips his hand with me in the dish is the betrayer." Da Vinci painted that prophecy, showing Judas caught in the act. The spilled salt at his elbow becomes more than an accident, it's a silent prophecy. Across Europe, breaking bread with someone was a sacred bond, and salt was the seal of that covenant. By knocking it over, Judas symbolically shattered the pact of loyalty, betraying both Christ and the brotherhood of apostles. Da Vinci paints Judas as if the curse has already fallen and his betrayal had been sealed long before the kiss in Gethsemane. But Judas was not the only omen Da Vinci buried at the table. Sitting near the bread and wine rests a pomegranate with red seeds bursting from the shell. To ancient audiences, the pomegranate was a dangerous fruit. In Greek myth, Phanany ate just a few seeds and was forever bound to the underworld. In Christian interpretation, the fruit seeds resemble drops of blood, foreshadowing the sacrifice of Jesus. In Da Vinci's painting, the pomegranate becomes a double-edged symbol, Christ's blood given for humanity and the fate Judas sets into motion. Taken together, these details transform Judas into more than a man. He becomes an omen incarnate and a human curse. Standing among the sacred, is every gesture and every symbol surrounding him screams doom. Da Vinci did not paint him as a confused follower who later gave in to greed. He painted him as if his betrayal was already written, carved into destiny, long before the first coin ever touched his hand. And yet, as terrifying as Judas's portrayal is, some argue that Da Vinci went further. They believe he hid entire scenes and figures that remained invisible for centuries, waiting for AI to drag them out of the shadows. In 2007, computer analyst Slavisa Pesci ran one of the first high-tech experiments on Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. What he uncovered shocked even hardened researchers. Pesci took a digital copy of the painting, flipped it horizontally, and then superimposed the two images together. The result, he claimed, was not just a mirrored trick of light and color, but an entirely new image hidden in plain sight. According to Pesci, the fusion revealed the shape of a woman holding a baby, a sight that immediately fueled whispers of lost bloodlines, forbidden unions, and a lineage the church never wanted exposed. To skeptics, it sounded like coincidence, but the human mind instinctively recognized the outline of a mother and child where none should exist. AI built on Pesci's discovery. It decoded a shadowy figure at the end of the table that resembled a Knight Templar. The Templars, long rumored to be guardians of the Holy Grail, had been tied to Da Vinci in conspiracy theories before, but here their presence seemed to be staring directly back at the viewer, cloaked in secrecy. More details surfaced. AI detected that the chalice could be made out in front of Christ, the very vessel that generations have hunted as the Grail itself. Experts even suggested Leonardo embedded a self-portrait within the central structure of the scene, daring history to notice him at the heart of his greatest riddle. Then, AI analysis deepened the mystery further. When it compared Van Gogh's Café Terrace at Night, 1888, to Da Vinci's masterpiece, it discovered strange similarities. Under enhanced digital layers, Van Gogh's work seemed to mimic the arrangement of The Last Supper, a central long-haired figure surrounded by 12 others, with a lone shadowy presence on the edge. Whether deliberate homage or subconscious echo, it reinforced the unsettling idea that Da Vinci's supper scene was not just art, but a code that artists across centuries could not resist revisiting. The possibility of a painting within the painting has haunted researchers ever since. Are these coincidences of symmetry or deliberate messages buried to outlast time? Every digital pass seems to reveal something new, as if Da Vinci left behind a map that requires modern technology to decode. But none of these theories compare to the most chilling discovery of all. Because AI's most infamous decoding points not to a hidden figure or symbol, but to the person seated right beside Christ, and it may not be who we think. For centuries, people looked at Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper and believed they saw Christ surrounded by his 12 disciples. But when AI decoding software sharpened the image, enhanced facial outlines, and ran symmetry checks, it picked up something that shook even the most skeptical observers. The figure seated directly to Jesus' right, long believed to be the Apostle John, did not look entirely male. The AI highlighted the long flowing hair, the soft jawline, and the delicate curve of the figure's neck. It even measured posture against Da Vinci's other works and produced a profile that aligned closer to female proportions than male. What had always been explained away as John's youthful, androgynous appearance now took on a far more disturbing possibility. This probably wasn't John at all. It could have indeed been Mary Magdalene. If true, the implications are chilling. This would mean Da Vinci encoded in plain sight the suggestion that Jesus shared his final meal not only with his disciples but also with the woman many believe was his closest companion, and possibly much more. Some argue this was Da Vinci's attempt to preserve a suppressed truth about Christianity that church leaders had worked for centuries to bury. Traditional historians, however, push back, noting that all four Gospels list only 12 male apostles at the meal and that Mary Magdalene, while a devoted follower, is never mentioned in that context. Still, AI's reconstruction brought forward unsettling alignments. The software compared the figure's facial symmetry to dozens of authenticated female portraits painted by Da Vinci, including sketches believed to depict Mary Magdalene herself. The overlap was hauntingly precise, the tilt of the chin, the arch of the brows, even the faint suggestion of a hidden smile. Digitally color-corrected garments appeared less apostolic and more feminine in cut. If Da Vinci did hide Mary Magdalene at the heart of the mural, what was he trying to say? Could he have been quietly suggesting that Mary's role was greater than history allowed? Was this a subtle commentary on how religious institutions shaped the biblical narrative? Whether symbolic gesture, creative choice, or quiet rebellion, the image forces us to reconsider long-held assumptions. And remarkably, this was only the beginning. When AI mirrored the painting line by line, it revealed even more unexpected layers. In the mirrored version, the apostles' faces distorted, their calm expressions twisting into pain or emptiness. Some blurred into skeletal shapes or hybrid creatures resembling animals, as if the Last Supper contained a second, hidden story beneath the sacred surface. At the very center, where Jesus traditionally sits as the symbol of peace, the mirrored alignment produced the faint outline of a horned, goat-like figure eerily similar to classical depictions of the devil. Some dismissed it as coincidence, others saw intent. The discovery ignited fierce debate. Was Da Vinci mocking faith, hiding blasphemy in plain sight, or commenting on the eternal balance of light and darkness? Others see nothing deliberate, calling it pareidolia, the mind's tendency to find meaning in randomness. Whatever the truth, the mirrored version adds yet another layer of mystery to a painting that already defies explanation. When AI examined the Last Supper further, it noted one more crucial detail: not a single figure in the mural has a halo. In Renaissance art, halos were symbols of divinity, yet Da Vinci left them out entirely. Scholar Renzo Monetti believed this omission was deliberate, suggesting that Leonardo viewed Jesus not as a celestial being, but as a mortal man placed in extraordinary circumstances. AI also noted the apostles' faces rugged, flawed, deeply human. Some believe Da Vinci used real people from Milan as models, even criminals. Legend holds that Judas's model was a condemned man, literally embodying betrayal. Others claim Da Vinci inserted himself into the scene as James the Less, quietly witnessing the act of treachery firsthand. Yet, not all interpretations are dark. Some see the Last Supper as a humanistic masterpiece, a statement that holiness exists not above us, but within our imperfections. That even betrayal, examined deeply, is part of redemption's story. Whether heresy or genius, one truth remains: the Last Supper defies simple explanation. Every century, and now, every algorithm uncovers something new. If AI has only scratched the surface, what deeper meanings still sleep beneath the faded walls of Santa Maria del Grazie? What do you think about this AI analysis? Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.